Welcome back to the Roundtable. I'm Ultric Vox, and regular show The Lost Tapes is almost here. Yet, we know very little about it. A lot of the episodes take place during the original series, but also Pops is back, and clearly still dead, keeping tabs on his boys from the big retirement home in the sky. And make no mistake, there is something afoot in this show. Reviewers are only shown episodes 4 and 6 specifically, so the premiere will maintain a spoiler-free viewing experience. Plus, JG Quintel mentioned that they've been doing their best to keep everything about this show under wraps, stating in an interview with The Beat, "We've been trying so hard to keep as much of it a secret for as long as possible. I know a lot of people enjoy seeing trailers and knowing what they're about to get into. I always get bummed out when a trailer gives away all the plot and tells you what you're going to see. So why am I even going to this movie? Some of my favorite movies have been ones where I didn't even see the trailer and went in without any preconceived notion of what it was. We have been asking the studio to keep as much back as possible up until the very last moment, so people can hopefully not spend too much time trying to guess until it's too late. Well, sorry to burst your bubble, JG, but I was born to spend way too much time trying to guess what's going to happen in cartoons. After combing through all the clips and episode descriptions that we have so far, I think I figured out what's really going on with the Lost Tapes, and how it might tie into unfinished business with one of the later villains in the show. Streaming!
Streaming is the future!
Potential spoilers for the Lost Tapes ahead. While the majority of the Lost Tapes episodes will be set all over the timeline, with no direct specification of when they happen, we will definitely be getting some episodes set after the finale. And these episodes will advance the plot of this half-sequel, half-midquel series. How do we know for sure? Well, there's a few things to go off of. Once again, we have Pops in the afterlife, watching Mordecai and Rigby on the TV. The finale of regular show ended with the revelation that the whole series was Pops strolling down memory lane, watching it all back on a VHS tape that archived their lives. This wasn't just one last pull of the heartstrings. There's some lore behind these VHS tapes that the new show is diving into greater detail with. You may recall that in Cheer Up Pops, the episode right before the 3-part finale, Blu-ray scanned everyone's memories and popped out a personalized box set that I wish they based the real-life complete series box set after. I'd kill to have Mordecai pulls a Mordecai out on display as a conversation piece. This box set ends up surviving the messed up universe reset caused by Mordecai and Rigby's meddling with Pops' battle with his brother, and Rigby uses it to restore Mordecai's memories after experiencing his own sense of deja vu. This is as far as the box set's relevance goes in the story, given that they only had like 9 minutes left to wrap everything up, but it's important moving forward because it establishes media's shared ability to store memories within their respective formats. So it's possible that Pops' heavenly VHS set was conjured up by a VCR-like being, perhaps a resurrected VCR-biter or Betamax. It's also possible that this VHS set was gifted to Pops by the Seer, an omniscient being who resides on Planet Nielsen, now known as Planet Streaming, and seems to be well aware that regular show is a cartoon, having access to all of their adventures that's displayed on the numerous TVs in their headquarters. Either of these parties rewarding Pops' sacrifice with a VHS box set tracks to me, and it's VHS because it's his media of choice, of course. I don't think it'd be too tough to deliver them to heaven either, given that we have characters like Death, the Guardians of Eternal Youth, and others who interact with the afterlife on a regular basis. Now I say box set, even though we've only seen one tape, because one teaser for the new series shows someone unveiling a bag full of these tapes, and various promos show Mordecai inserting different colored tapes into a VCR player, which I can only imagine is something the marketing team got from the Lost Tapes itself. Not to mention the first episode that makes up the half-hour premiere of this big comeback is called Fix That Tape, with a very vague synopsis that reads, "A broken VHS tape needs to be fixed. I'd wager that VHS tape belongs to Pops, and we'll be picking things back up exactly where they left off 9 years ago in 2017, setting up not only the various Lost adventures, but a running storyline that'll be revisited throughout the season, likely the midway point and season finale, which means we'll sort of be watching the Lost Tapes alongside Pops, and they'll act as a MacGuffin of sorts, something that's important for Pops to preserve against nefarious forces, namely streaming, as Pops defeating anti-Pops and evading the universal reset means that the format wars never ended. These wars will be more relevant than ever before, but given that this storyline didn't really start picking up until the second half of the show, you might need a little refresher. Craving something new in the indie scene?
Well, if you're all gonna be such critics, why don't you suggest a better one?
It's great to have so many serialized comedy dramas, but what if we just went all in on the laughs and feel good vibes?
Move on up out of my way. I have something gotta do today. Got no time for all your games.
But I like the way you like to play. You sure you're having a moment to pay some mind to someone who could spend some time with you one day.
Right now, my homie Toonrific Tariq is funding the pilot for his adult animated romance comedy, Hey. It's shaping up to be one of the most unique shows in the indie scene.
That's what everybody wants, a straight couple.
You can be a part of animation history by heading to the Kickstarter and becoming a backer by June 10th, 2026. The Kickstarter page also gives you the 411 on the show, the characters, the crew, and more. Check it out by clicking the link in the description.
I want to create a show that the culture is proud to call its own. I want to create Hey, and I want you to help.
Adults love it.
The format wars were introduced to us in the last Laserdisc player, where a quest to watch a movie on Laserdisc quickly escalates into the boys learning that they're the disc masters, destined to reunite the last Laserdisc with the last Laserdisc player, as the format has been hunted down by the ancient order of the VHS.
VHS needed to stop Laserdisc's superior image and sound fidelity before it could spread throughout society.
The gang activates the guardians of obsolete formats, Betamax, 8-track, floppy disk, and reel-to-reel. A battle with the ancient order of the VHS ensues, and ultimately our guys win thanks to Archie the Archivist, who's really the Laserdisc Guardian. This resulted in Laserdisc reigning supreme in the regular show universe for a sec.
Things have been so wonderful lately. Thanks to you, you can't go anywhere without seeing a Laserdisc.
But everyone's pulled back into the trenches when DVD starts wreaking havoc, wounding the Guardian microfiche. DVD's teamed up with a robot named Internet, who goes too far by killing Laserdisc, devastating DVD, who just learned that Laserdisc was his father. Internet believes that streaming is the future. Technology is advancing, and all of these obsolete formats no longer serve a purpose. And although our boys end up coming out of this battle victorious, the internet is still out there as a lingering threat, hell-bent on making streaming the future. Fast forward to regular show in space, and sure enough, Internet has been putting in the work to make sure he can mold the world in his image, evolving into streaming and taking over Planet Nielsen, dubbing it Planet Streaming. Since the Park Gang was on the planet exclusively to meet with the Seer, they do their best to evade getting swept up in this war, though they do get acquainted with Black and White and Blu-ray, the sister of DVD, who by this point has upgraded to HD DVD.
I still have better sound definition than you.
Tell that to my 10 gigs of extra storage.
Streaming followed everyone to Lollyland, supporting anti-pops in the big battle at the end of the universe, only to be defeated and wind up as collateral damage. But again, this isn't the end of the format wars, because Pops finally beat the time loop and created a path forward for everyone. Their world is no longer confined to endless reruns that result in a battle with no victor. There's also some obvious meta commentary at play with the real world. When regular show premiered in 2010, cable was thriving. Streaming was around, but not really popular, and DVDs were still the norm, while Blu-ray was just starting to really make a name for itself. But by the time the show ended, physical media started falling across the board, and streaming was no longer the future, but the present. And now in 2026, streaming is very much the norm. Physical media has almost been completely phased out, and sure enough, the internet reigns supreme. So where does that leave the guardians of obsolete formats? And where the hell is cable? Is there a cable? They never mentioned cable as an entity, but if we got streaming in all these media formats, you'd think cable would be out there somewhere, right? If it's somehow managed to survive in the real world, then you gotta imagine it's out there somewhere in the regular show universe. Unless cable is just the seer, but they felt more like an insert for the viewer, so who really knows? Nevertheless, all of these unanswered questions tie back to Pops and the lost tapes. We can assume streaming has survived the events of a regular epic final battle, given it already survived decapitation, plus the whole meta-ness of it all. And if streaming is back with a vengeance, it's gonna want to finish the job and wipe out all the obsolete formats, which means karma has finally caught up to the ancient order of VHS. For years, they decimated opposing formats, but it makes sense that streaming has been working overtime to return the favor, wiping out VHS tapes across the galaxy, if not existence itself. With the final VHS tapes lying in Pops' possession, his regular show box set, making him and his precious memories a prime target for streaming. Streaming is interrupting his eternal rest. A metaphor for this whole revival/sequel, interrupting a perfect ending so that the streaming catalogs can have more content. Though the team is very cognizant of this fact, and they're really striving to make this new show good without disrespecting the ending that they created 10 years ago. I do want to put the possibility out there that the lost tapes in particular were never delivered to Pops or hidden from him for one reason or another. Or maybe he never bothered to check them out. Or they come from a different universe entirely. The idea of there being a broken tape has me thinking that the solution to defeating streaming is within one of these tapes. So while an unsuspecting viewer who misses out on the premiere may view each episode of the Lost Tapes as just adventures we've never seen before, within the bigger picture, it's Pops binge watching through these tapes as he's hoping one of them will be the key to ending the format wars. Though knowing Pops, he's going to find a peaceful solution, creating a world where streaming and the media formats can coexist, which reflects a lot of people's real world desires with this mess. Yeah, it's cool to have streaming, but did it really have to consolidate, overshadow, and replace so much physical media? With JG and a bunch of the crew now being old heads who love to reminisce on the old days. Like Pops, I think a lot of feelings on the state of streaming, physical media, and cable will be vocalized through this new series. I actually believe the decision to air these on TV before streaming might be a bit of meta storytelling. Sure, Cartoon Network as a channel needs new content, and regular show premiered on cable, but with all these other revivals and sequels heading to streaming exclusively, I'd like to believe this was a move on the team's part to give people the best experience possible for this series. One where we're navigating through this journey alongside the characters and aren't able to immediately skip to a big half-hour special that gives us all the answers. I respect it. Speaking of half-hour specials, maybe all this will accumulate in a big event episode that involves Epilogue Mordecai and Rigby, and everyone else at the park reunion, with the Disc Maskers coming out of retirement for one last job, reuniting with Pops to preserve a precious media format and end the format wars for good. I don't think they'll completely deny us of some screen time in the 25 years later era. Please, develop Mordecai's wife Steph as a character, I'm begging. So, TLDR, regular show The Lost Tapes narratively takes place after the original series, following Pops as he goes through the tapes, which serve as individual episodes set all over the timeline, ranging anywhere from seasons 1 through 7. I doubt we'll get any episodes set during season 8, as everyone was in space. From the 2 episodes Cartoon Network sent me that I already shared my thoughts on in another video, the gimmick with this series seems to be that the characters beyond the park gang will get their own episodes, like how episodes 4 and 6 follow Eileen and Margaret's POV. And I want a Dawn episode. Please give me a Dawn episode. I need to see how many sugar jokes they can get off in the Big 26.
Go give him some sugar!
But with all that said, I want to know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on the Lost Tapes timeline? What are your theories and predictions when it comes to the format wars? Let's get a dialogue going in the comments down below, and keep it going over on just Instagram at @OffStrickVox and our Roundtable vids. If you enjoyed this video, please throw a like and subscribe to the Roundtable with notifications on so you never miss a video. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
What we do here is go back.
Need something to throw on while you draw, study, or sleep? Roundtable Rewind's got you covered. So why not take a stroll down memory lane and subscribe?
No one can tell me what to do.
See you there.